Morning students. Today in the law subject, today we are going to read unit number 5, that is Edmund Burke's speech on American taxation and coalition with America. So when America got independence, it got independence in 16th century, I hope, 16th or 17th. Before that, what happened? The Britishers used to rule over America. When they ruled America, then they had some different kind of taxations. They used to tax the people there. So Burke was born in Dublin in Ireland 1729, then the part of British Empire. His father is a prosperous attorney. After that early education home, he became a boarder and school run by Abraham Shackleton at Beltor in County Kildare. Burke received his university education in Trinity College, Dublin. At Trinity, he found debating society where he developed the oratorical technique and debating skills. Then he proceeded to Middle Temple at London in order to qualify for the bar legal practice. Less attractive to him than the border perspective which he had captured his attention at university. It was the first as a writer, then so I will show you now the book which depicts the Burke's life story. So then when in 1756 he had son in 1758. So border perspective, when he captured the attention of the university, he was the first writer, and then as a public figure, that he made him his career. Burke married Miss Nugget in 1756. Then he had a son. He had a son by 1756. So you understood the story of Mr. Edmund Burke. In his biography, he is actually a liar. Okay. Then, but he was not interested in doing law. He was more interested in debating, orator. He used to work as an orator. So, in that he used to make people convinced about the wrong way of taxation on America's taxation. So, British people used to do very wrong taxations. He never liked that. So this lesson describes all these things. You can see Burke's as a statement, activity as parliamentarian and political writer, embraced the great many concerns. Prominent among these are the problems of British rule overseas in North America, India, Ireland, and the name, however, that have been linked most strongly by protestivity to the critic of the French Revolution. Burke was certain that more notable as a pundit and executive politician, held office only twice. For a few months in 1782 and 1783, his political life was functioned in May 1791 by a break from where some of his party colleagues over significance of the revolution. Burke, in his last years, especially from 1792, turned his attention to his native Ireland. On 9th July and 1797, he passed away. So you can see he was linked with strongly by the posterity to critic of the French Revolution. Burke was certainly more notable as a pundit than an executive politician, holding office only twice. So he held a office also, but not exactly political office, but he was a responsible post was given to him. His political life was punctuated in May 71, break from some of the point of colleague over significance of the revolution. Burke in his last years, especially from 1792, turned his attention to the native Ireland. On 9th of July 1979, he passed away. So, however, he died, but he had a quite interest on the state affairs of the government, and he was much aware of the taxation policy. So, coalition with America, conciliation with America. I means he used to discuss the background of Burke's speech. What speech he used to give? Was a good speaker, orator. ఆరేటర్ అంటే మంచి స్పీకర్ అని అర్థం. చాలా బాగా కన్విన్సింగ్గా మాట్లాడేవాడు అనమాట. కొంతమందికి ఆ గిఫ్ట్ ఉంటుంది, కన్విన్సింగ్గా మాట్లాడే గిఫ్ట్ ఉంటుంది, అందుకేసుకుంటారు వాళ్ళ మాటలకి. అలాంటి వ్యక్తి అనమాట. సో డిఫరెంట్ బిట్వీన్ బ్రిటిష్ ఎంపైర్ అండ్ అమెరికన్ కాలనీస్ ఒరిజినేటెడ్ ఇన్ 1651. So, British Parliament enacted the first Navigation Act, which required the colonial exports should be shipped to England in America or English vessels. This is followed by long series of acts regulating, restricting the American trade. సో బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళు ఒక రూల్ తయారు చేశారు. ఆ రూల్ ఏంటంటే నావిగేషన్ యాక్ట్ అని తయారు చేశారు. దాని ఓన్లీ బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళకి ముందు పంపించాలా ఏ ఐటమ్ అయినా. ఇప్పుడు వాళ్ళు డిసైడ్ చేస్తారనమాట. అది వీళ్ళకి చాలా ప్రాబ్లం చేసేది. కాలనీస్ వర్ నాట్ అలౌడ్ టు ఎక్స్చేంజ్ సర్టన్ ఆర్టికల్స్ వితౌట్ పేయింగ్ డ్యూటీ దేర్ ఆఫ్ అండ్ దేర్ ఆన్, అండ్ customs houses were established and offer appointed opposition to these proceedings were ineffectual as a movement was suppressed. So they were not able to trade with few of the items because they did not allow. The Britishers they did not allow because Americans were the colonies of British government. Like India also was a colony. So we were also not allowed to do any trade business. They had a full control on the ships, navigational aids అవన్నీ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర ఉండేవి. కాబట్టి వాళ్ళు అక్కడున్న స్థానికులందరూ బ్రిటిష్ వాళ్ళ మీద డిపెండ్ అయ్యేవారు. సో వాళ్ళు in 1969, in order to expedite the business of taxation as an establishment better method of ruling the colonies. taxation అనేది ఒక మెథడ్ అనమాట టు రూల్ ద కాలనీస్. కాలనీస్ మీద ట్యాక్స్ కలెక్ట్ చేస్తే కంపల్సరీ ఆ కాలనీ వీళ్ళకే బిలాంగ్ అయినట్లు ఒక ఒక అంటే ఒక ష్యూరిటీ అని ఉంటుంది అనమాట. ఎస్. సో ద బోర్డ్ వాజ్ అపాయింటెడ్ అండ్ కాల్డ్ లార్డ్ ఆఫ్ commoner for the trade of plantation. The royal governor found that the board ready sympathizers were not slow to report to the grievances and insist upon the stringent regulation enforcing obedience. Some of the relative measures employed were suspension of writ, habeas corpus, and abridgment of the freedom of the press and prohibition of elections. Even elections were also not allowed. Okay, even taxation was done, election was not allowed. Even press freedom was also not given by Britishers to Americans. సో వాళ్ళు కొన్ని పద్ధతులు ఫాలో చేసేవారు అనమాట. ఆ రూలింగ్ టెక్నిక్ వాళ్ళకి తెలుసు ఎలా రూల్ చేయాలనేది. అందులో వాళ్ళు చాలా బాగా రాటదేరు ఉంటారు అనమాట. సో ద వార్ విత్ ఫ్రాన్స్ ఎండెడ్ విత్ ఫాల్ ఆఫ్ క్యూబిక్. అమెరికన్స్ వేర్ ఫేవర్డ్ by Whigs and had been power in more than 70 years and passed more than half of the navigational acts. So immediately after the close of French war, after George III was ascended throne of England, and it was decided to enforce navigational acts rigidly. There was no more smuggling to prevent this. British assistant 1761. So were issued and arms with such authority that the knight might enter the home of any citizen and make through such of smuggled goods. These measures were registered by the colonist, and sudden change in the attitude of England towards colonies were due to policy of George III, who wanted to and the New Whigs, George III played one of the greatest one against each other, succeeded in forming ministry and composed his friends' obedience to his will. Walpole and Newcastle has succeeded in giving England one of the most peaceful and prosperous government through their methods, though their methods were corrupt. సో జార్జ్ ఆఫ్టర్ ఫ్రెంచ్ వార్ తర్వాత జార్జ్ త్రీ బికేమ్ ది లీడర్ బికేమ్ ది ఎంపరర్. సో అండర్ హిజ్ రూల్ ఈ సపోర్టెడ్ విగ్స్ అనమాట. విగ్స్ అనే రెండు పార్టీలు ఉన్నాయి, ఓల్డ్ విగ్ న్యూ విగ్ అని. వీళ్ళకి సపోర్ట్ చేసేవాడు. ఆ సపోర్ట్ చేయబట్టి ఏం జరిగిందంటే వాడికి కరెక్ట్ మైండ్ ఉన్నా సరే గవర్నర్స్ ఇవి ఉండేవన్నమాట. So this support the encourage of his ministers, kings were prepared to put operation of his policy or regulation of affairs of America. Writs of assistance 1761 were followed. Passage of Stamp Act, writs of assistance in 1761 were followed by the passage of the Stamp Act 1765. The object of two measures, pay the debt incurred by French war, బట్ ద రియల్ ఆబ్జెక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్స్టెన్షన్ ఆఫ్ పార్లమెంటరీ రూల్. ఈ రకరకాలు ఇవన్నీ కూడా అక్కడి నుంచి వచ్చినవి. ఇవన్నీ ఇదేంటంటారు, స్టాంప్ యాక్టు, డ్యూటీ డ్యూటీ అంటే ట్యాక్స్, మరి ఇంకా రిట్ ఆఫ్ అసిస్టెన్స్, ఇవన్నీ తర్వాత పార్లమెంటరీ రూలు, ఇవన్నీ ఇవన్నీ కూడా ఈ లెసన్లో మనం చదువుతాం. స్టాంప్ యాక్ట్ కోసం అని కూడా చదువుతాం. సో బుర్కేస్ మెయిన్ ఇంటెన్షన్ వాస్ టు the tax levy of British government over American colonies were not correct, which he never liked it. He opposed it. Okay na? In further lessons we will see how he opposed. మనం అవన్నీ చూద్దాం. ఫర్దర్ లెసన్స్లో కూడా మనం చూడవచ్చు. బుర్కే స్పీచ్ అమెరికన్ టాక్సేషన్, అందులో ఎలాగా అతను స్పీచ్ ఇచ్చాడు, వాళ్ళు చేసిన ఏ యాక్ట్ కూడా ఇది అగెన్స్ట్గా మాట్లాడేవాడు అనమాట. వాళ్ళు ఏదో రూల్ పాస్ చేస్తే దానికి అగెన్స్ట్గా మాట్లాడు. అలాగా మాట్లాడి చివరికి ఏమైంది, అమెరికా బికేమ్ ఇండిపెండెన్స్ అండ్ దే స్టాప్ గివింగ్ ద మనీ టు బ్రిటిష్ పీపుల్. ఓకే, అండర్స్టాండ్. సో ఎడ్మండ్ బుర్కేస్ స్పీచ్ ప్లేడ్ ఏ మేజర్ రోల్ in Americans' independence and also America's taxation policies. ఓకే, చాలా మంచి లెసను. మనం అలా చదువుతూ ఉంటే చదవాలి అనిపిస్తుంది. అర్థమైందా? సో మై డియర్ స్టూడెంట్, there will be 10 marks in the examination. Further we will see what was your speech and what were the contents. Okay, please log on to my channel and further you will know the details in this chapter.